Hey guys, today I have my first tips and tricks video for you. I'm going to be releasing a lot more of these as well as additional videos that cover various strategies such as dropping and expanding. That's going to be in the very near future. Now I want to note that these little things are meant to improve your play, but if you're a really low league player, the number one thing you want to focus on is macro. I wouldn't really suggest trying to do these things, do the things you might find in some of my tips and tricks videos, just simply due to the fact that you should be focusing more on macro instead of this kind of fancy micro tricks. The video is meant more for plat or maybe diamond players who are feeling lost and frustrated against Protoss, as I did very much so. I was always complaining that they were OP, that they were hard, impossible to beat, but I realized that all it takes is knowing how to deal with what they throw against you. So this certain video showcases how Terran players can take advantage of the amazing range Vikings have in order to more easily engage a Protoss army head-on. If the opponent has too many stalkers or you have too little Vikings, it can be difficult to pull this off due to the fact that the stalkers can kill the Vikings fairly quickly, and if you don't have enough, they'll all be wiped out. But with proper aggression and macro, you should be able to match his army fairly well. So first you want to bind your Vikings to one hotkey and your main army to another. In this case, I have my Vikings on the back button on my mouse, and my army is the number 1 control group. Now send these Vikings and start poking at his Colos. There's a good chance that the stalkers and sentries are going to be out of range of the Vikings, which is why the Viking range comes into play so much. You can get a free volley off, and if you have enough Vikings, you can potentially kill a Colossus, take down all its shields, generally just cause the Protoss player to panic, and as you can see in this situation, move his Colossus back. Now this lets me move the rest of my army in to his base without having to worry about engaging the Colossus, as my Vikings are now targeting them, and they're just fire and forget. I'm not bothering to micro the Vikings at all. I just told them to attack the Colossus, and then I took my bio army, marched into his base, and seeing as he's preoccupied, he's panicking, he doesn't want to lose those Colos, in that moment, I move in, I take advantage of his distraction, and I just clean him up. Now, I do admit that my army was a ton bigger than his, so I'm going to show you another video where I do something similar. So this is another game versus a Protoss player. I want to note that both players were Master League level, so they're not terrible players. And I want to just to reiterate, we have our Marine, Medevac, and Marauders on one hotkey, and all of our Vikings on another hotkey. So this time what I do is a little different. I know that he has a third up, and I know for certain that he has Colos up. So I take advantage of the fact that Protoss move in death balls. They're not very good with little skirmish units. They have power with high-tech units and a lot of gateway units to buffer. So what I did here is I selected my bio units and my medevacs, and I sent them to his third base because I know for certain, I scanned earlier, that his army isn't around. And I leave my Vikings in the path that I know he'll have to take to get to his third base. But I keep them a little out of range. And as you can see, as soon as his Colos start by, I start shooting at them. This distracts the sentries and the stalkers, and since I have enough Vikings, it lets me take out all the Colos and leaves only an immortal and a handful of zealots from a bioforce to counter, which I mop up extraordinarily easily. And now all he has left are a bunch of gateway units. I've got pretty much a death ball of bio and tons of medevacs. And as you can see, even though he has an Archon, I don't have to do anything else. His Colo, his main damage unit, is gone, and the rest of my bio units can just march in and end him. And as you can see, he GG's once he realizes that he's got nothing left to protect his workers, his third, and I'm macroing behind this, so there's just no real chance that he can get out of this alive. And as you can see, we get the GG right there.